Hey everyone, and welcome to Top Think. Today we're going to learn about the Pinocchio Effect and how to spot a liar. Now, let's begin. Have you ever heard of Pinocchio? That's the puppet who comes to life. Well, most of us encountered Pinocchio for the first time in Disney's animated movie. Their rendition of Pinocchio was released in the 1940s, but the character is over 60 years older. The playful puppet was created by an Italian author named Carlo Collodi. Collodi's 1883 novel, The Adventures of Pinocchio, describes an obnoxious puppet who likes to bend the truth. He's not nearly as charming as the character in Disney's retelling. But both versions of Pinocchio share the same crazy quirk. When Pinocchio lies, his nose gets longer. Now, Pinocchio's nose may seem ridiculous, but there's a kernel of truth buried inside this old fairy tale. Pinocchio's nose describes a unique phenomenon. When people bend the truth, Collodi would say, they add to their true nose a papier-mâché nose. In real life, our noses don't grow longer, but your nose does change when you lie. In 2012, a study from the University of Granada discovered a phenomenon they dubbed the Pinocchio Effect. Now, the Pinocchio Effect goes something like this. Let's say you're meeting your friend for lunch. You arrive at the restaurant right on time, but your friend is nowhere to be seen. 30 minutes later, they walk into the restaurant and act like nothing happened. So you ask them, "We were supposed to meet 30 minutes ago. Why are you so late?" They don't want to tell you the real reason why they were so late. So what do? They make up an excuse. They say, sorry, I was stuck in traffic. But how do you know if they're telling the truth or lying to your face? When a person lies, their body temperature changes. They experience a sudden rise in temperature around their nose. Researchers have measured this stark change in temperature with thermographic cameras. They found that sudden temperature increases around the nose are reliable predictors of deceptive behavior. In other words, you can use temperature like a lie detector. If the temperature of someone's nose changes, well, it's probably a lie. If not, it's most likely the truth. But that's not really useful to you, is it? You don't have access to thermographic cameras all the time. Lies are the most common in social settings, like group events and the workplace. In those environments, it's impossible to notice something as small as a change in temperature. These things are much too tiny to see with your naked eye. So how do you use the Pinocchio effect to spot a liar in action? If you don't happen to have a thermographic camera, what should you look for? The importance of the Pinocchio effect isn't the temperature change itself. While heat around the nose is a sign of lying, you should keep your eyes peeled for something else. Think about what happens when you feel embarrassed. Your body gets restless and your body language changes. You start touching or hiding your face. You try to comfort yourself with self-soothing gestures. You're doing these things to reduce your climbing body temperature, to soothe your nerves and to relax your brain. Embarrassment is just one example of the way temperature affects physical body language. Lying works the same way. When a liar experiences a stark change in nasal temperature, you can't see the extra heat, but you can see the way they react to that change in temperature. Like embarrassment, facial touching is a common unconscious reaction to rushes of heat in the neck and face. You place your hands on your face to settle or soothe that part of your body. In this case, a liar will place their hands on or around their nose when they lie. They may scratch the bridge of their nose. They may rub the insides of their eyes. They may hold their nose between their fingers. Somehow, some way, their hands will make contact with their face, and you'll know exactly why. Changes in body temperature can also cause general discomfort. Imagine a rush of heat shooting into your arm or your leg. That heat would make you feel itchy and restless, and that discomfort would show on your face. So when someone is bending the truth, their expression becomes visibly uncomfortable. Their mental state is responding to their physical state and vice versa. Changes in one create changes in the other. If that wasn't true, the Pinocchio effect just wouldn't exist. Lying bothers you, so your body responds with a change in temperature. That change in temperature bothers you too, so your brain responds with visible discomfort. Your cheeks turn red when you're embarrassed for the same reason. If you're not embarrassed, your cheeks won't turn red. In the same way, if you're not lying, your temperature won't change. So, how reliable are these physical signals? What other signs of deception can we identify to sniff out the liars in our lives? In 2012, a study by Harvard University asked the very same question. This study addresses an unfortunate truth, which most of us have come to accept. People lie, and they lie often. Some people lie to get what they want. Others lie to spare themselves trouble or make themselves look better. You hear these lies in business, relationships, and friendships. Sometimes their body language will give them away, but you can control your body language. For example, you can stop yourself from touching your face. If that happens, how do you know when someone's lying? In this Harvard experiment, researchers examined deceptive behaviors with a game called the ultimatum game. The premise is simple. One player, called the allocator, is given a sum of money. The allocator must choose how to split that sum of money with a second player, called the receiver. The allocator can split the money evenly, or they can try to take more money for themselves. But here's the twist. The receiver can always reject their offer, in which case both parties walk away with nothing. Since our Harvard experiment is targeting lying behaviors, they added a second twist to the ultimatum game. Not all of the allocators received the same amount of money. Each allocator was given either $30 or $5 to split with their receiver. But the receiver was not told how much money their allocator received. Before the allocator decided how to split up the money, the receiver was given 2 minutes to grill the allocator with questions. During that time, the allocator could spill the beans. They could tell the receiver how much money they were given and then split the money evenly. Or they could lie. They could say they received $5 when they actually received $30, and in that case, the allocator would keep most of the money for themselves. So, what do you think people did? Did allocators lie to keep more money for themselves? When researchers tallied up the results, they found that 70% of the allocators told the truth. Most of them confessed the true value of their sum and split the money fairly. But if 70% of the people told the truth, that means 30% of the people tried to lie. Some allocators pulled it off, some didn't. But all of their lies gave researchers a valuable glimpse into the language of deception. This Harvard experiment revealed a new kind of Pinocchio effect. Well, let's think back to our wooden puppet. When he lies, his nose grows longer, right? Well, Harvard University noticed something similar. Just like Pinocchio's elongated nose, our sentences get longer and longer when we lie. But why do our sentences grow when we're being dishonest? They get longer because we're trying harder. We know that we're lying, so we make a bigger effort to convince other people we're telling the truth. According to Harvard University, deceptive people use a greater number of words and far more third-person pronouns. When people tell the truth, the opposite happens. Our sentences, like Pinocchio's nose, stay short and sweet. You know you're being truthful and you have confidence in the things you say. That confidence lowers your word count and encourages the use of first-person pronouns. There's another way your speech changes when you lie. In general, lying is much harder than telling the truth. The truth can carry an emotional burden. It may require vulnerability or discomfort, but speaking the truth is much easier for your brain. Lying, on the other hand, requires much more brain power. You have to create something believable. You have to monitor your body language and vocal tones. You overthink every tiny thing, and that places a heavy burden on your brain. Naturally, that burden influences the way you speak. Our Harvard experiment found a huge increase in one category when we lie. That category is profanity. We overuse profanity because we have less space in our brains. You stop minding your manners because you're paying too much attention to the lies coming out of your mouth. We also rely on profanity to add drama and emphasis. We assume that curse words make our speech more convincing, but it's actually just the opposite. The more swear words you use, the more deceptive you appear. The Pinocchio Effect, for physical cues and changes in language, demonstrates to us a consistent truth about humanity. We are not built to lie. It makes us itchy, hot, and uncomfortable by changing our body temperature. It changes our speech and overburdens our brains. Just like Pinocchio and his growing nose, subtle changes give away lies and acts of deception. People try to cover them up, but the signs are always there. They're sneakier than a puppet's nose growing twice its normal size, but if you look closely, you can recognize a liar anywhere, anytime. Hey, thank you for watching Top Think, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.